Good afternoon. My name is Ted Harris, and I'm with the Pennsylvania Petroleum Association. We are doing a replay of the original webinar that took place on February 5th with the Department of Revenue to review their new MyPATH platform. At this point, I'm going to pass it off to the department with Steve and Megan and let them begin the demo.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Washonsky. I'm the Director of the Bureau of Motor and Alternative Fuel Taxes. And if you haven't already noticed on our website or on eTides, eTides is no longer the filing platform for motor fuel taxes. We've moved into a new system we're very excited about called MyPATH. It can be found at mypath.pa.gov. And it will be the filing platform for not only motor fuel tax, but alternative fuels tax, IFTA, motor carrier road tax, fuel transporter permits, and refunds. We went live internally on January 28th and went live to the public with MyPATH on February 4th. On MyPATH, you'll be able to file timely and amended returns and reports, account registration, payments and renewal for all tax types, manage account access. You can order supplemental decals. All correspondence and letters will be available on MyPATH. You'll be able to get your refunds and reimbursements quicker by direct deposit, and you'll have transactions available to you using credit cards for certain functions within the new system. How will this impact you? We have been reaching out with welcome letters. If you have not received it already, you will receive it soon. It'll have your customer ID number, your account ID number. These will be necessary to register within MyPATH. All tax types will be included again. There will be easy use of the system, greater customer satisfaction. In time, we will actually eliminate paper returns for IFTA accounts, and we will have a staggered implementation with the communications. We have 600 motor fuel tax accounts, 200 alternative fuels tax accounts, 13,000 IFTA, 12,000 motor carrier road tax, 600 fuel transporter permits, and 400 reimbursement accounts. We've been in communication with the Pennsylvania Petroleum Association, the Pennsylvania Motor Truck Association, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, PennDOT, the Riverfront Office Center, and the Pennsylvania State Police to help spread the word with our new filing platform. At this point, I will turn it over to the Business Director for the PATH project, Megan Swisher.
Thank you. My name is Megan Swisher, as Steve had mentioned, and I'm actually going to demonstrate a few items on MyPATH. As Steve mentioned, eTides is no longer the filing platform with the Department for Motor and Alternative Fuels. We have slowly are transitioning everybody over to MyPATH. In doing so, we have sent out welcome letters to all of the active motor and alternative fuel taxpayers. We are requiring all of you to re-register with MyPATH, so your current user ID and passwords with eTides cannot be used. So some of the functionality I am going to show you today includes creating your new username and password for MyPATH. I'll be showing you how to file a return with MyPATH. I will show you the functionality to file an amended return. I will walk you through making a payment, viewing notices, as well as the functionality of granting access to a practitioner to your account, and some of the other features that are available to you. A number of these features actually were not available to you through eTides, but are now available to you in MyPATH. So the screen that you're currently looking at is actually the initial screen that is in MyPATH. Once you first go to mypath.pa.gov, this is the first screen you'll see. You can get to MyPATH directly through our URL, or you can get to it by going to the Department of Revenue website. If you haven't signed up yet, you're going to want to first select this link that says sign up for MyPATH. The first thing you're going to see when you select sign up for MyPATH is our electronic correspondence and communications agreement. This is a terms and conditions agreement that you typically see when you're asked to sign up for a website. You will be required to select the box that you agree to the agreement. and then you'll want to select on the next box. This is where you'll be asked to select your new username. You can use the same username that you had used for eTides if you'd like. The username is case sensitive. You will be asked to select a password. These info buttons actually will give you tips as far as what the username and the password requirements are. Password does have a minimum length. It does require numbers, uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as the special characters. We do, as I mentioned, allow you to have a third party to access your account, so it will ask you if you are a third party registering. When a third party comes in, they will want to select the yes button. We're not a third party, so we are not going to select that button. This will be the personal information of the person who's actually registering at this time. You're going to want to put your profile email address in at this point. A phone number is required. You can use a secret question to reset your password, so you do want to make sure you select a secret question that you will always remember your answer. MyPATH does require 2 forms of identification to register. Previously on eTides, all you were required to provide was your FEIN or your Social Security number for your business. So you're first going to be asked to provide your FEIN or your Social Security number dependent on how your entity is set up. This entity that I'm using is actually going to be an FEIN. And since it is an FEIN, I need to put the business name in. I'm actually going to register the motor fuel tax for this entity. And again, this is where I'm going to put my account ID. This account ID is the number that has been provided to me on the welcome letter that was mailed to me from the department. You must have this number to register for MyPATH. As Steve mentioned, these letters have been mailed out. This was mailed out in the first week of January. If you have not received your letter by the end of the week of February, the first week of February, you should have received it by now, and you want to contact the Bureau of Motor Fuel Taxes to obtain your account number. And I'm going to click the Submit button. And at this point, my registration is complete. Typically, when you finish any submission within MyPATH, you will receive this confirmation screen. It provides you with a confirmation number, as well as an opportunity to print that confirmation number for your records. I'm going to select OK. Then I'm brought back to the login screen. So now I'm going to log in. With the username and password I had just selected. MyPATH does use multi-factor authentication. This is very important for security purposes. I'm going to request that it send my authentication code to my email address. However, because the first time the authentication code is sent to you, it will be sent to the email address that you used to register. Once I get into the system, it's going to give me an opportunity to change that I can send it to a cell phone. However, because I am in a test environment, I do have an opportunity to select the populate code link. This will not be available in production. This is just a test feature. Again, as I mentioned, the first time you do this, it will send it to the email address that you put in during your profile at registration. This is the profile information that I entered when I registered. My name, my email address, my secret question. I can change it at this point if I'd like to. The telephone number I entered, my business type. Here's where I can select my authentication type. Again, as I mentioned, I could choose to have my authentication for multi-factor to be a text message, an email, a text message, or both. I'm going to continue to use it via email. And I'm going to select Save. This is the main screen that you always see after you log into MyPATH every time you log in. I would point out that while I just registered for motor fuel taxes, this taxpayer actually has all of the filing types, the account types that are available via MyPATH. He has an alternative fuels tax, he has fuel transporter, he has IFTA, motor carrier road tax. Something that was not available previously in eTides was the other tax types. This is now available in MyPATH. So the first thing I'm going to show is actually amending a motor fuel tax return. Again, this was a feature that was not available in eTides that I wanted to show everybody. So I'm actually going to select the motor fuel account type. You'll see here that I have multiple tabs available to me when I select the motor fuel tax type. Right here, I have the January period available to me. I have not filed that return yet, as well as the January period, which has been filed. This is showing me that I had a balance due for that period. I could make a payment at this point, but I'm going to elect to actually amend my return first. So I can go ahead here and just select on the period right from this point. This is actually a view of the period, showing my tax, my credit, and my balance. And I can say right here I want to file or amend a return. I could view the return first, or I could just go ahead and select amend a return. These are my menu options for my filing method. I'm actually going to select that I'm going to manually enter this information. I do want to review my submissions before submitting the return, and I'm going to actually amend my transaction schedule. I'm going to select next. I'm going to amend my 1, my 1F, my 5, and my 5Q. This is actually presenting me with my original amounts that were part of my return. And this is when I would go in and just start keying in my amended amounts. Okay, and the amounts that I've entered now are carrying forward to my schedules. This is my 1096B, my 1096A, my motor fuels tax summary, my adjusted amounts with my revised balance due. And at this point, I could elect to make a payment. I could select that I would like to make my payment now. I'm going to say no. You have to make a selection at that point. This is going to remind me that payments that are over $1,000 must be filed electronically. It's also going to give me my options to make my payments that aren't via EFT. However, I'm not going to submit my return at this point. I'm going to save my draft. It's going to give me my message about, or am I sure that I want to save this draft, and I'm going to select OK. I want to finish it for later. So I want to go back to the motor fuel tax, and it's going to be sitting here as a draft submission. So the next thing I'm going to do now is file my February return. So I'm going to select the file return link. And this time, I'm actually going to upload a CSV file. So I'm going to select my import return option. I would like to import the column headers. Sorry, my CSV file does have column headers. And again, I'm going to review my line item submissions. And I'm going to select the import button now. I have my file saved. And I will select the next button. And this is now my CSV file. From this point, if I need to, I can go in and edit any of the fields within the CSV file. So if I need to change any entry within the CSV file, I can do this now and then save it. So these are all my schedules that were within that actual CSV file. So because I selected to review it, I can go through each and every schedule. Again, any edits that I need to make to this file can be done at this point. So I also have a balance due with my February return. So I'm going to select yes at this point to make a payment for this return. When I select yes, I am presented with the screen to make an EFT payment. I'm going to choose to make a payment from my checking account. I'm going to provide a bank routing number. We actually check your bank routing number with the Federal Reserve so that we can tell you exactly which bank account that is, so that validation is done immediately. I can actually then also save this payment channel for future use. So if I want to continue to use this same bank account for my motor fuels tax account, I won't have to re-enter it every month. We provided a payment date, but I can use a different payment date. So if I want to wait to make this payment on February 18th, I can select that payment date. I'm asked to enter a payment amount. So if I do not want to make the full payment, I can choose a lesser amount. Then I'm going to select submit. Again, I'm presented with the terms and agreement as far as I'm signing this return, and I'm acknowledging that the return and the payment are accurate. And I'm provided with a confirmation screen. This provides me with the filing period, the submission type, the date and time that it was submitted, as well as my payment effective date and the payment amount. Again, I'll be able to print this so I have it for my records. So I'm brought back to my motor fuel tax account screen for my submission. I have my February 28th return. It's submitted, as well as, again, sitting here with my January 31st return with my draft submission. Within here, I have a tab showing submissions. If I select that, it shows draft submissions, my motor fuels tax return, as well as a submitted return. Under processed is my motor fuels tax return from January. Right now, my February return is still submitted. Once the department actually picks up my February return for processing, it will go in the processed file. While it's sitting there submitted, I could go in and edit the return. Once it becomes processed, though, I cannot go in and edit it. The next thing I'm going to show is actually logging in as a third-party practitioner, requesting access to an account, and then logging back in as Trucking Unlimited and showing what that looks like, that somebody has requested access to my account and granting that access. I'm going to log off as Trucking Unlimited now. And the third party that I'm logging into actually already has registered. Again, using third-party authentication. As long as I elect to trust this browser, I won't have to keep sending an authentication code. In order for a third party to have access to an account, you will have to have the account's FEIN and account ID. So again, if you want a third party to have access to your account, you need to make sure to provide them with your FEIN and account number. So as a third party, I'm going to go under this and say I want to request access to additional accounts. I'm going to select Submit. And OK. And this is my confirmation code that I've requested this access. I'm going to do log off again. And log back in as Trucking Unlimited. Okay, within my alerts here now, I have account access requested. So I will select this link. And it says here the requester logon is tax reporter, their name. They've requested access to my motor fuel tax account. This is my account ID number. Within this drop-down box are the levels of access that I can give tax reporter. I can give them access to file returns on my behalf, file returns and make payments, just make payments, or I can give them access to just view. I'm going to give them access to file returns and make payments. I'm going to select the grant. I could select deny here, which will send back to them that they are not allowed access to my information. Then I will have to select Submit again. Again, the same with the confirmation number. Log in one more time as tax reporter. And you'll see now that I've logged back in as tax reporter, I have access to Trucking Unlimited's account. If I select the Submissions tab, you'll see that I can see the draft submission for the motor fuels tax return. So I could go in and view that submission. I also can see their submitted tax return for the February period as well. So I will log off now, go back in on Trucking Unlimited, and show some of the other features again that are available in MyPATH. Okay, as I had mentioned, there is an alerts area here. This just brings things to your attention that you want to check on. I have 3 unread messages. Most of the messages that are in here involve activity that has occurred recently. All of these things are things that we did today. Again, the third-party access was requested. I updated my profile. My security code was enclosed. This was my authentication code that we did first thing. So I can delete this message. Another feature of messages here is I can send a message directly to the department through here. This is a secure way to email the department. So if I say this message concerns Trucking Unlimited motor fuel tax, my February period, and my subject is I need help. I do not understand my balance due. I can also add an attachment to this email, and when I submit it, it'll actually go directly into the department, and a department employee will receive this email. They'll respond to the email, and you'll get a notification in your email box that you have a message. What you'll be required to do is actually log back into MyPATH to review that message. Again, this is a completely secure way to interact directly with department. I also see here in my alerts that I have 2 unread letters. Any letters that get generated from the department will now be available in MyPATH to be reviewed electronically. So right now I see I have a tentative approval pending my surety. If I open that letter right now, this is an electronic version of that letter. The physical copy is still being mailed to me. However, if I need to look at a copy of it, or if I want to print another copy of it, I can go into MyPATH and view it and print it. So this is actually also a preview of what the new letters are going to look like that are issued out of our new system. But you can see this is actually the letter that was issued, as well as the bond form that we request to be filled out by your surety company. In addition to the surety letter, there's actually a copy of your permit in here, should you need to print another copy of that. So again, every letter that's issued to you for all of your accounts will be available in MyPATH for reprint or viewing. You will also have the option to go paperless now, meaning if you select go paperless within MyPATH, all of your letters will actually be issued to you electronically. You will not receive a hard copy. You will actually only ever receive a notification via email that a letter is available to you, and you'll be asked to log into MyPATH to view those letters. The Logins tab actually gives you the ability to manage your third-party accesses. So right now, again, I have tax reporter who has access to my account. I can select that. I can manage their access from here. I can grant him access to other tax accounts from here. I can cancel his access to my motor fuel tax account. My names and addresses tab. If I had multiple addresses for Trucks Unlimited, if I had practitioner address, if I had location addresses, all of that information would be available in this tab as well. As I had mentioned before, submissions are all located within this tab. Multiple payment types will be available here. I can make a bill payment, meaning if I received an assessment or a determination from the department, I could make a payment through here directly as well. So these are just some of the features that are going to be available or are available now through MyPATH that we wanted to show to the motor and alternative fuels community. We appreciate the time, and we hope that everybody likes what they see. Thank you.
Megan and Steve, thank you so much. Thank you to the Department of Revenue for being willing to participate in this and for us to be able to share it with our membership. At this point, we're going to conclude the webinar. And again, thank you everyone who participated.